All right. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to Two Birds, One Stoned. I'm here with Vincent Schultz, and I'm Zachary Brooks. How you doing today, Vinny?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm stoked to be back.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time. We had a couple in the bag, but I kind of dropped the ball with that and didn't put them out in a timely fashion. And so...
it's fine, dude. It's because, part of who we are is... our flaws, and we don't have to be consistent. If you guys want consistency, go ahead and eat a jar of Jiffy peanut butter.
Or Jiffy. Oh. Are you talking smooth or crunchy?
Smooth.
All right.
With a dash of honey.
Okay. Make it extra sweet, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's extra sweet, but extra smooth. Have you ever done that? Just like even just taking regular peanut butter and then put honey on top of that, and then spread that into the peanut butter on the toast.
No, but that sounds delicious.
Yeah, and then
I've never tried
banana.
that. Oh well, banana, of course. Banana and peanut butter go together so well.
But then throw a little bit of honey in there, even just a little bit of jam. It doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to mix it up.
Yeah, I found the best kind of Cliff bars to me are the peanut butter banana ones. Those are
it's been so long since I've had
those. Those are so good. Those are the only box I'll fucking buy.
Dude, I know I bring this.
Like I'll buy individual ones if they don't have that one.
Yeah.
But like at the store. But when I buy a box, like I'm getting that one. That's my favorite because it's like peanut butter banana sandwich, but it's a freaking little protein bar.
It's delicious.
Yeah, man.
Okay, what's
up?
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this.
All right.
So back when I was younger and I was luging.
Really? Okay.
Wait, you luge story.
Vinny, you luged?
The luge story.
You used to luge? I didn't know that.
So it pertains to Cliff Bars, though.
Okay,
so,
cool run-ins.
So we were actually on the national team to go overseas and compete. And so therefore we had sponsors and whatnot. And some of those sponsors were Cliff and Power Bar and whatnot.
Okay.
So
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You got free merch,
free snacks, yeah, like protein bars and all that. Like we took that stuff for granted, dude. Because here's the thing, we had a fucking duffel bag. Like, think about like a large duffel bag, like hockey gear size. Maybe not like the large scale.
But instead of hockey gear or drugs, it's energy bars.
Yeah, it was just like a duffel bag, basically, just like full of fucking
you guys are like
power
drug
bars.
Dealers, man.
Yeah, we were protein bar smugglers.
You couldn't bring that shit on a plane now.
I wonder if we were even allowed to bring those overseas.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm sure.
As a 15-year-old kid, I was actually one of the world's top smugglers, and I didn't even know it.
Dude, I bet there was glow in those bars.
Right, yeah. Little did we know. They actually came from our Croatian supporters.
Live and learn, right? So what's been going on with you, Vinny? It's been a hot minute since we've gotten to sit down, record a conversation.
It's been a while. I just took a break from everything but fucking work because I can't take a break from that. Obviously,
yeah, right.
I don't know. I've just been I've been taking care of shit. Doing stuff around the house, getting the leaves done. It's that time of year again, and I've already raked the leaves 4 times, I think now. and they just did the pickup the other day, and after the pickup, the wind came down and just took just a shitload more leaves off of the tree branches, and now I got to rake again. I mean, the good thing is the leaf pickup is coming again next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got to figure out what day mine is.
Your zone.
I seem to always miss it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to look that up.
Plus, ours accumulate so fast. It's.
Yeah, I know.
It's really tough,
dude. I hate doing leaves, but honestly, I just found a good rake. I feel like that's my method whenever I'm tasked with doing a shitty thing. Like
if you have a good tool to do it.
Good tool to do it, exactly. Like I used to hate winter because my vehicle couldn't get through it, but then I fixed my vehicle up and it could go through winter again. So I didn't mind winter, and in this case, it's raking leaves. I hate raking leaves, but I found a really good industrial rake. And it has those metal fingers on it, and it's actually got like a spring-loaded metal finger. The whole hand is spring-loaded, and then the handle. Here's the thing: they're so good. I bought 2 rakes. The first one was a wooden rake, was a wooden handle, and I used that one for like 4 or 5 years, and it still hadn't broke. Everything worked fine on it. Okay. I just figured when I went and saw that they had a fiberglass handle version, I was like, oh, I gotta have it. So,
that's some dad shit, dude.
I know,
you get so jazzed about your your outdoor appliances.
Dude, I get so excited because it makes the task that much easier, though.
Definitely, man.
And so I don't give a shit about raking leaves.
Home and garden care.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I bought my own galvanized steel shovel for getting myself out of snow, because their snow shovels are always plastic ones with the metal edge on them. Yeah. And the thing is, like, fuck, when you're really up here in the deep shit snow, there's an ice layer to it, and you got to break through that. So I got a galvanized steel shovel with a nice like metal handle and everything like that to it, or a fiberglass. I don't know what the fuck the handle is, honestly, but I've had it for like the last 10 years now. It's a sturdy ass fucking shovel. Gets me through some tough times, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
reliability.
I've been taking care of
as long as it's reliable.
Yeah.
Well, man.
What?
So we were talking about earlier, Dune. So, do you want?
No, we weren't saying anything about Dune.
Talked about Dune
no,
earlier.
We weren't.
Okay, you don't want to talk about Dune.
Okay, yeah.
We don't gotta talk about Dune, but
yeah,
we started a conversation, and like I'd really like to talk about that more and expand on it.
Dune was a good movie.
Was there anything you didn't like about it?
No, because the movie was exactly what I thought of. Okay, so like I told you, I never seen the original one, and I didn't read the book or anything, so I didn't know exactly what I was getting. But like I said, I did look up the synopsis on the internet, so I got a good grasp of what was happening, at least. Overall, like, it was a slow burn movie, because that's what it's I don't want to say it's an origin movie, because it kind of is for this kid.
It's kind of like a prequel for the second.
Exactly. And so it's just like setting everything up. And so like I don't mind that it's a little bit of a slow burn, because it's giving you everything you need to know for what's about to take place. And what's about to take place is going to happen in the second one. So therefore I liked it. I didn't think it was too slow. I thought it was a great movie. The combat was awesome. Like I told you, I love the part in the end where they're doing the trial by combat, and the kid's just whooping the one warrior's ass, and the dude's like, "Is he playing with him?" And the guy's just like yelling because he's like he knows his only way out of this is death, because he can't fucking defend himself against this kid. Yeah. He's too damn good, and so he's just like, ah! Yeah. Ah! I was like, fuck, this is so good.
It's definitely wild, and like, I don't know, the concept of them doing leadership by trial of combat, like whoever's the strongest leads, and because Stilgar was bested, they're like, hey, Jameis is like, hey, fuck you, I'm challenging you. And so then, because he wanted to challenge Lady Jessica, because she bested Stilgar, Paul's mother bested Stilgar, so technically she was like the leader at that point, or the one they were supposed to follow. So the mom. Okay. Stilgar is the leader of the Fremen. The dudes with the blue eyes.
Okay.
He's the leader of them.
Okay.
And so when his mother bested him, that was a sign of weakness, so Jameis challenged him, or basically he challenged Lady Jessica. And then Paul stood in for her.
The kid.
Yeah. The main kid. So, I'm a big fan of the book. I read the whole book multiple times because I was blown away by how great it was.
Damn. How big was this book?
It's like 800 pages.
And you read it numerous times?
Yeah.
I wish I could read
it
you.
It reads quick, though, because it's like there's a lot of information in the first half, just like with the movie. But the second, like a third, like almost halfway through, like it picks up and actually like starts like action is happening rather than like explaining everything. Like half the fucking most of the book in the beginning is just like exposition about like how the galaxy is run and like setting up the whole Atreides takeover of Arrakis. So the Atreides family, the main family. The whole basically the whole first half of the book almost is, well, it's like the book is split up into 3 books technically. So like book 1 is like the whole. That's
too much book for me.
Well, it's a commitment, but like I said, it's actually a quick read if you like sci-fi. Like it's a real quick read.
Yeah, I suppose here's the thing: if I end up liking it, it will be a quick read. Mm-hmm. If I have a hard time digesting what I'm reading or picturing what I'm reading, it's weird with me in reading when. what really helps with me and speeding along, really understanding what I'm reading is like the pace at which I'm reading at, because it's translating up in my head and I'm comprehending what I'm reading, and then it's painting the picture at the same time. But if I'm reading too fast, I can't paint that picture. If I'm reading too slow, I'm getting hung up on every single word. But if I'm reading just right, I'm like, fuck, this book is amazing. I can really see what the author is telling me. Trying to,
well, so. you drew a correlation between like Game of Thrones and that, and so Dune was like the inspiration for a lot of those like fantasy series that came out of it, because this was like 56 when he put it out.
Is that what year the original one? Oh,
yeah, the book Dune came out in like 56. So this this is after Tolkien and stuff. So with Dune, he essentially, especially with the first original like rendition of what the movie was, like it was never made. It was going to be the best sci-fi film and it was never made.
It was shot, but it was never actually.
No, they never got to shoot it. They had all the like concept art, all the actors picked out.
And why was it never shot?
Because it was like 63 or something. They decided that they didn't want to shell out. Or no, originally like it was in the works since like 63. So like a few years after the book came out, it was like in the works to make it into a movie. But I think it wasn't until like 72. I said 62. I meant 72 because it's like early 70s. It's right after like 2001 Space Odyssey comes out.
Yeah.
So like people saw like the extent of what we can do with like special effects and space, because Kubrick is a fucking genius. Was a genius. I mean, it's fucking insane.
Good old Stanley.
But so that movie kind of proved like, hey, like a longer like sci-fi movie like is kind of feasible, but there wasn't really a market for it.
How long was the original one?
The idea was it was going to be 4 to 5 hours.
And it was only one movie too, right?
Yeah. But like there was movies back then that would be like that long. There's movies that have been like 4 hours
Right,
long.
they were very far and few between though.
Right.
But so how long was the original one then?
Well, so I think it was estimated to be like about 4 hours, and like the budget was going to be insane because it had like Salvador Dali and fucking like all the concept art is kind of what inspired things like Alien and a lot of like the sci-fi that came out after that. A lot of those people went to work on like Star Wars and Alien and all this other shit. Like
it's cool to have that kind of effect on.
You got to look up this concept art because it's beautiful. Jarowski, I think, however you say his name, Jarowski.
That sounds familiar, actually.
That was a really like interesting. There's a whole documentary like about it, and it's really really cool. And
there's a whole documentary on Dune,
on the movie that was never made.
Oh. Yeah, interesting.
The original like idea and
funny how there was a movie made on the movie that was never made.
Yeah, well, it's about like the conception of the movie at that. Then it just like stopped because the studio didn't want to throw more money at it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
They didn't think it was gonna be they didn't think people wanted to see a fucking space opera.
Right.
And that's what Star Wars proved them wrong. Like then Star Wars came out and proved them wrong.
Well, here's my little spiel on it. It's funny to me because the guy who made the documentary made money off the movie, whereas the people who wanted
I'm pretty sure it was Jodorowsky himself who was like part of it.
So he's like, well, I'm gonna have to do fucking something to make some money off of it.
Well, you can buy the books with all the concept art, and dude, it is gorgeous. It looks so cool. If they would have made it like,
I think I've seen some of the old concept art, honestly.
Yeah, Salvador Dali was going to be in it, like as an actor.
And who is that again?
And Mick Jagger was going to be in it.
Mick Jagger, he's the guy from one of the Rolling Stones.
He's the singer, yeah.
Okay.
And then, Salvador Dali's a famous artist. He's the dude with the curly mustache with like the melting clock and shit.
Okay.
Like the weird like elephant-looking animals, like giraffe.
I remember the melting clock picture. The best.
The melting clock thing is Dali. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very like surreal.
Be in the movie for
he was
going to
be in the movie. Yeah.
Weird. And he also did the concept art.
I think he might have done a little bit of it, but I don't think he did a whole lot.
Imagine the balls on the director. Hey, Salvador, get over here. Fucking draw some shit up for my imagination.
But yeah, then David Lynch did it in the 80s. which David Lynch is the guy who made like Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead and like Twin Peaks and
I know Twin Peaks because my cousin is into that stuff.
I'm into Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Yeah. David Lynch is a very fucking weird director.
Oh, okay.
I don't love everything he does or like all of his stylistic choices, but they are definitely very interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Like Twin Peaks is a very entertaining show if you can sit through like the really melodramatic soapy bullshit because it's just so surreal and weird. It's like that's what's kind of like its charm though. It's very aware that it's like soap opera-y.
And that's the thing. I understood that going in because my cousin really loves that shit, and she explained it to me as I was going into it. But her type of interests are people like Andy Warhol also. And it was like she's into weird stuff too, but it's like really weird stuff sometimes. Like I have no problems with it. My cousin's cool as shit. But I definitely got into Twin Peaks for a little bit, but it was just like going on and on and on. I was like, there's so many episodes, I can't fucking finish this.
So you know the head FBI guy with the fucking hearing aids who yells?
Yeah, I love that character.
David Lynch.
Okay, no shit. That's
David
him.
Lynch. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. What?
Okay. Yeah. That stuff that was always really funny.
That shit's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
But so he made the like first like adaptation of Doom for like on film. Like that was
and
released.
that was the original
That
one?
was filmed and released. Yeah.
Okay.
But he claims he didn't have like as much creative control. They cut an 800-page novel down into like a movie that's like an hour and 45 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
It's so bad. It's like they cut so much out. He wanted it to be like 3 hours.
That's like going to the Super Bowl and going, all right, everybody, we're gonna have to squeeze this into a half an hour.
Oh my god. Yeah, so like there's a bunch of weird like time cuts and like I was kind of saying, what was good about the new one is although the pacing was like kind of like really slow at sometimes, it's like they were building up all the exposition about
itself.
How the galaxy works, who's who, like what are their motivations.
Well, you gotta know all that shit. And
yeah. And so they crammed it into like a 3-minute like sequence like monologue with like an actress who's only in it at the very end of the movie. It is so bizarre.
It feels like if they don't give that kind of backstory and information, they would have to make some sort of prequel in the future. It's almost set up like Star Wars, where it gives you all of their backstory.
The scrolling text.
Yeah.
Kind of like...
just, no, I mean...
No,
like,
but that's essentially what they did, except it was a woman reading it to you while she stares into the camera.
Well, that happened, but I'm talking about like... Okay, yeah. Where I was going with is like if they didn't give you that sort of backstory and give you that build up before everything really serious takes place, if they didn't do that, they'd have to give you some sort of movie beforehand so you really understand what's going on, who these families are.
Are you speaking in terms of the new one, or just in general?
In general.
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
And so that's kind of what part 1 is for Dune.
Yeah.
And like, I think that was the right move. I think there were some definite times where the pacing could have been a little faster.
I didn't
but don't get me wrong, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
like it's beautifully shot.
It's
It's just sometimes it's like it drags when it doesn't need to. It's like they explain their point and then they just kind of like will drag on like the ambience of like the sand or something. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's cool, I get it, but like you can
I'm a sucker for it.
You can do a little bit more with that time,
But at the same time,
no, but
time.
I love the movie though.
Is time really a concern when these people are putting the movie out there? Like,
a lot of the time, yeah, it's something the studio definitely considers. But Lord of the Rings and like Star Wars have proved that you can have a movie that's over 2 hours.
So if you can do it,
and people like really will still love it and go see it multiple times. The thing is with Dune, I don't know if it has a lot of like rewatchability because like it's like kind of just setting up the actual climax of the book, like the real rising action and shit.
What I could see watching numerous times, I would watch the movie just for pretty much the ending scene where the kid's fighting that dude. Basically, like that's what I would watch the whole movie for.
Oh, dude, and it's great. I think the casting's pretty good. I don't think it's amazing, but I think the casting was pretty good.
Dude, sorry, quick tangent. I was just thinking about another log movie. Was it the one with Russell Crowe, The Gladiator, right? Is that what it's called, The Gladiator? Is that what it's called? The Gladiator? Yeah. Okay. So, great movie. And I wanted to watch it one night, but I was like, man, I'm fucking tired. And so I didn't want, like, I knew how long it was. Like, I don't want to stay up for the whole thing. So I literally just fast forward through all the talking and other bullshit. And I just watched the fight scenes.
You can go on things like the internet and just watch those clips.
Well, I didn't have the. This was actually when I was. Okay, this was a while ago. I was dog sitting out in Harvey, and they're out in the woods a little bit further. The internet was dial up, so the best I had was a VHS copy of it. So I was just like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, Dune was a good movie. I had no problem with the length or anything, and I'm excited for the second one because I know it's going to be a fucking epic.
Yeah,
dude.
I was hyped on it for over a year.
Was it Dave Bautista, right? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
I think he's been doing a great job. I feel like he's been doing a great job, like as a destroyer, Drax the Destroyer, in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think he's going to do a great job. I imagine he's going to be in the second one a hell of a lot more. But I like his acting, and they had a lot of great actors in that movie too.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think the casting was really good. I think it could have been better in a couple of things. I don't know, because Paul Atreides is supposed to be like 16. I know in the movies they typically make him like 18, but I don't think Timothée Chalamet was the right choice. I don't think he's doing a bad job.
I just don't think 16 in that movie.
Yeah, well, in the book he's like 16.
I mean, there's always slight
and I think he's supposed to be 18 in the movie. Okay. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't think he was the right pick. I don't think he's doing a bad job by any means. But I think they could have found somebody better that fits it more. Like,
see, I just don't know because I didn't read the book or
just his overall mannerisms, the way he'll respond to things. It's like he's doing a decent job, but it's like I feel like there's people who could capture Paul from the book a lot better. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. For sure. There's that Hitman movie that came out, and
the one. Oh man, with the older one.
Yeah, the older one that came out. I like that guy. I forget
his name, but
he's been in a lot of stuff too. But then they came out with the other Hitman. Agent 47 movie or whatever it was called, and I thought that guy was like the action movie was good for what it was, but I didn't like the guy playing 47 at all.
Sure,
I liked the first guy playing.
It's a good video game movie. You know, it's one of the few where it's like a very enjoyable video game movie.
And one of the things I loved about it too in the older one was when Hitman is escaping from the police. He crashes out a window, swings down into another window where some kids are playing a video game, and they're playing Hitman on the screen. And I just thought, I love little shit like that. That's so good.
Those like little meta jokes.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for Hitman. I played all those games when I was younger. I didn't get to play all of them, all the new ones now, but there's like Hitman Blood Money, one of the more captivating moments that
Blood Money was an amazing game, dude.
Yeah, I remember killing a guy with a hammer and just like making the pop sound and like pulling the hammer out, and it sounds like they use like a melon or like a watermelon to make the sound, just and just it's like it sounds like you're actually fucking cracking a dude's skull in with a hammer.
Yeah, I really like the aspect of like, well, with those games, it's like, put this disguise on, sneak around, like look like you're supposed to be in this place, like that kind of shit. It's like, whoa, that's such a cool aspect because it's not just like straight up action, like point and shoot game. It's like strategy and stealth.
You say that, but like, so one of my friends, he played Blood Money at the same time I did, and
you can literally just run in there and
that was one of the ones where you can upgrade your balas to automatic pistols, and he just went to first person also in that game, and he just killed everybody in the fucking map. He's like, mission's done.
But you lose out on the good points that you
exactly
need. Like the point of the game is stealth. It's like that's how Metal Gear Solid is too.
Right. That's the game.
You can totally run around that entire game just blowing everybody away.
It's not so fun,
but you're at way more of a disadvantage doing that, and you get more like points, like, and you get way more out of it by actually like, you know, being sneaky and like trying to not be caught. And if you do got to take someone out, you're like really quick about it and like sneaky. And you hide their body and kind of shit. Like,
dude, I remember this really cool PC game called Commandos, and it was like this top down sort of game. It was at a bit of an angle, so they're like you're characters did have bodies and whatnot, but you controlled a series of like 4 or 5 different, I think it was just 4, a team of 4 commandos. They each had their own skills and abilities, and it was like a graphic game. It was an adult game, I would say, and it was a very strategic type game where you'd have to take out this barracks of like weapons or something like that, then take out the sniper, and then just like come around here and take out a commando or like a commander.
Was this on PS2?
No, on the PC.
On the PC, okay.
Because it's all very old.
There
game.
was Conflict Desert Storm. Those games were fucking awesome. I had 1 and 2.
Is that a first-person shooter?
No, it's third person, but like you said, it's like up. Like at an angle at their back, but it's not like top down. It's like kind of like third person, but like the angle is kind of like up.
We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. And then you could cycle through 4 different guys on your squad.
Okay.
And they all have different like skills.
Interesting.
Because they're like, I think they are special forces in like Iraq and stuff. It's like a Desert Storm game, so it's like Iraq and shit. It's the Middle East. And
that sounds familiar.
So they were on PS2, and like the graphics weren't great, but like the combat, the shooting system, like everything was a lot of fun. And there's different kinds of missions too. It's like you just basically make your way through a checkpoint trying to get to like your destination. Then there's like a big thing at the end, and but like there's like a heavy machine gunner, a sniper, the like main infantry guy who's the leader. Game, it's strategic, and you can like bounce around your different characters, and like you can they'll be on AI, but like they'll do basic tasks. Okay. They'll do but if someone's hurt, then you have to go save them, and then you can like cycle through and like this guy's getting hurt, so you switch over and then you start fucking things up.
That makes me think
it's a lot of fun.
Makes me think of those Dynasty Warrior games where you could just switch.
I remember Dynasty Warriors. Yeah,
where you could just switch in between all those warriors like that just whoop ass on the battlefield. Yeah.
Controlling like armies and shit. That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, those are fun games. Yeah, man.
No, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption lately, and the
first one,
the second one, online.
Oh yeah,
and I get to make my own character, and literally I look like my character online. I just gave the longest hair possible, the biggest beard possible, and I gotta be honest, I think my real life beard is a little bit bigger, but like I thought it was hilarious. Like this is one of the few games where I can actually make my character look a lot like me. Just a raggedy old dude out on the west.
So Vin, you doing No Shave November, dude, or what?
I haven't done it for the last few years.
Yeah, I know. Clearly. You look like Forrest Gump when he's running through the desert.
I could probably do Gandalf at some point. Just gotta dye my... Oh, no. He had dark hair at first, didn't he?
No, it was gray. And then
it turned
when he's Gandalf the Gray, he's gray. And then when it's Gandalf the White, it's white.
That's white. Okay. Yeah, maybe I could do Gandalf one year.
Oh,
you
definitely.
Shall not pass.
Yeah, dude. Love those movies.
Be a pretty good character, yeah. I always love getting into my character. I was actually Jesus this year for Halloween.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't get to see you.
I was at the top of the stairs, and I was bringing kids. I was like, "Welcome to my kingdom. Come up my righteous stairs," and stuff like that. And I heard this one dad telling the kids like, 1 candy a piece, because the people weren't outside. It was just the bowl out.
Yeah.
And the dad was like, just one candy piece, kids. One candy a piece. And the kids came up to me and was like, I heard your dad saying 1 candy a piece. Well, I'm the Heavenly Father, and I say 2.
Oh my god, baby.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah. Some of the parents enjoyed it. I think some of them were offended by it, but whatever. I don't give a shit. They offend me, so.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. Let's see here. This was the neighbor came out and like waved at him, and I was like, "Hello, my child," and he like laughed about that. And yeah, it was a good time, dude.
Nice.
But you dressed up as something with your girlfriend there.
Yeah. So she was the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Oh, that's
right.
And
I was Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
piece of shit.
Did it turn out pretty good?
Huh?
Did the costumes turn out pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was fun. I had like a bald cap and shit. It was a lot of fun.
Really?
Did
that turn out?
It was like
well?
a half bald cap wig.
Yeah. You got that on, no problem though?
Yeah, it looked alright.
I've always been curious about him.
No, it was funny. We were like out at some bars, and when there was like music that was loud and people were dancing, I was like doing like not like aggressively old man dance moves, but like very like like old
nice.
like dance moves an old spry person would do, like really like funny kind of like weird like motions and like
almost looks like aerobics for him.
Yeah, right, or like just being really ridiculous. And apparently I was making some people laugh, according to my girlfriend. So that was
mission accomplished.
She was like, "Oh yeah, dude, people were cracking up." I'm like, "Oh, cool," because like I was just having fun with it. Like I was like, I'm gonna just be an old man tonight.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
So,
be like one of those old men from like Johnny Knoxville playing the old guy on podcast.
Kind of, yeah.
I love that shit.
With less makeup and cool fucking prosthetics. The prosthetics make that shit. Like I think I'd do that really well if I had the good prosthetics for it.
There's this character. Oh, did we ever watch Jack Brooks' Monsters?
We sure did.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched it.
When did we watch that here?
Yeah, we hung out and we watched Jack Brooks.
Okay,
we talked about doing a podcast, but we were like, let's just watch Jack Brooks.
Okay, so the old man Howard. I don't remember if you remember. I don't know.
Robert Englund?
No, Howard. The old man at the hardware store.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who had the hook hand and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot about that. He's always sleeping.
Yeah, I would love to dress up as him for Halloween one year. Like nobody would know
obscure.
who the fuck I know. Nobody even know who I was talking about. But
that'd be awesome.
Like certain people would get it.
Yeah,
and,
a lot of people thought I was just like an old man.
Yeah.
And then I started telling people, no, I'm an alcoholic news anchor who just got fired. Because I untucked like one flap of my button-up shirt, so I was hanging out, and I like. You know what? No, I took the bald cap wig off because it was irritating me. So like I had my hair and I just fucked it all up, and I was like at the bar anyway. So I was just like was in this like really tacky suit, like all like ruffled up, and they were like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "I'm an alcoholic news anchor who just got fired."
Nice.
That's why I'm at the bar.
Actually, dressed up as Jesus, one girl was like, "Who are you?" I was like, "Don't you read the good book, kid?"
Oh my god. That's so funny. Did any parents get mad?
No, none of them got mad. Actually, that parent said, "Oh, she hasn't started going to Catholic school yet," or something like that. He said something about Catholic school.
Right on.
I thought that was hilarious. So, and like actually, Nicole, my girlfriend, said that one of the dads mentioned, "That's hilarious," as they walked away. So I think I hit it on the head.
Come up my righteous stairs, child.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have plenty of gifts for you. Candy and eternal life.
Yeah. I got rid of a lot of like just about all the candy too. I was proud of myself. I started just like dumping it in those kids' bags. Man, some of the kids didn't
dumped in their bags?
Yeah,
sorry, I'm a child.
No, like some of those kids, they didn't even have their bags. They just held their hands out. I was like, well, how am I going to give you this handful when your hand is like your
hand isn't even one of my hands.
Yeah, they're like outreaching just like one hand, and I've got both. I'm like, well, come on, kid. I was like, where's your bag? The dad's like, oh, I got it here. So the dad actually came up the stairs and like opened up the bag for the kid. I was like, why are you
carrying his bag around? That's like, part of it. Let that kid carry his own bag of candy. You should be able to haul that shit around if he wants that stuff.
It was pretty empty too, so I was like, come on, I'm helping this kid out by giving him like 2 good handfuls of candy.
I think I know what it is.
You farted?
No, he has
oh shit.
Not cystic fibrosis. The muscular dystrophy.
Dude,
the kids got muscular dystrophy.
You never think about kids or people having fucking issues these days. I feel like when I was younger, it was not really a thing. Like people didn't care about people having problems, but nowadays, like everybody's got something that. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, I felt like when I was younger, I just didn't hear a whole lot about, oh, be careful about this, they have that, or those sort of things.
Yeah, there's a kid who had.
Be careful about breathing around them and.
Yeah.
Stuff.
No, I get it. Nanny state. When I was in school, there was a kid in a grade above us who had muscular dystrophy. Everybody knew that, so nobody fucked with him. They were like, "Yeah, dude, like you're fine." So
I didn't see.
But they did it out of like, just kind of like knowing how to be a decent person. Like you didn't have to like be like, "Hey, you can't do this to him." It's like people are just kind of like. Yeah, don't fuck with him. Like
my problem is I came from a small town, so we probably just didn't have a large enough population to see some of the.
Oh sure, yeah. I'm from a much different kind of area. I'm from the fucking suburbs of a major city. Like
I'm unwillfully ignorant.
A lot of people. Nah, but this is a good place to live, though.
Yeah.
This isn't as desolate. I'm sure.
No, this is a pretty decent.
This
spot.
is a lot smaller than where I'm from, but it's still like big enough that it's like, you know, not like there's no one around, which I kind of want to live.
Well, it's like the biggest.
I kind of want to live more out
in this part of the state. So
definitely.
It doesn't really say much, but it says a little bit.
About 24,000.
Is that what I never looked up the
about 24,000, and then give or take students from the college. So
it's not very big at all.
No, it's pretty small.
I went up to school out in Gwyn, and I think their population was around 2,000 something at the time.
Sounds about right.
So it's just funny that this place is essentially just 12 times larger. You said 24, right? Yeah. 12 times larger.
I'm pretty sure that's the city and not just the county. The county's I'm pretty sure the county is a lot more than that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that live out in the woods out
definitely.
Here,
I kind of want to live in the woods, but I don't know if that's going to be realistic.
Dude, when I was working at the Blue Link, I came across some really deep woods people, and like I've heard of the mocking heavy accent and stuff like that you know about around here, like the Yooper accent.
Well, you can be like overly aggressive about it on purpose, and that's kind of a...
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I've seen that, but like I actually witnessed some. They were clearly just woods guys that were coming into town, sort of thing. And one of them, there's two guys. One I didn't understand at all. The second guy, I could barely make out what the fuck he was saying to me, but he was speaking English, and it was just like, wow, how. You're from around here? Holy shit.
Oh, no, I have family west of here, like northwest of here, and in Lawrence. And yeah, some of them have some real thick accents. I mean...
What kind of accent is that?
Yooper. It's Finnish influenced. It's like Finnish and Swedish influenced. And like a little bit of Canadian influence.
Holy fuck. But there's like... They're speaking English, but it's like heavily influenced by other shit.
Yeah, because that's who was populating this area in the early 19... Like 100 years ago, that's who was populating here. Yeah. So it's kind of just evolved over time, and it becomes part of the...
It's just wild.
Nomenclature.
Like the thing that... Yeah. Well, yeah... We're not from town. We're from outside of town, and like I can't even understand that, dude. But then again, my grandma, she lives in Germany, and she lives in like West Germany, like southwestern Germany, sort of not very south, but whatever. If she was to go all the way north, there's some villages all the way north. She wouldn't be able to understand their dialect of German that they're speaking over there, and I just thought that was interesting. But yeah,
definitely,
for sure.
And there's like, it's like that scene in fucking Inglourious Bastards when he's like, "Oh, shut up, Mr. Munich." And he's like, "I hear you over there, Berlin." Like he's like, he can pick out where they're from just based on their accent.
I can't picture that scene.
It's when they're in the bar in the basement, dressed as Nazi officers, and then the SS guy pops out.
I guess I never caught on to what those words meant. Didn't catch on to that. Okay, I've seen the movie quite a few times, but I'll have to watch that scene.
Yeah. But so he's like the SS inspector guy. He was able to pick out where they were from in Germany based on their accent. He's like,
you sound like you're from Munich, you're from Berlin, but I can't.
Yeah. He couldn't pick it out, and so he was like, "Oh, I live in an obscure mountain." And that's when he gave
the three fingers, and Germans get three fingers with their thumb, and he gave the three fingers with his.
Yeah. And he like made up some elaborate story about being from a small mountain in the Alps or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Shit's wild.
So yeah, there's even within a smaller country like Germany, it's like little pockets of people will speak differently just over time naturally.
Yeah. Just you wouldn't think it'd happen in a place like Marquette though.
Oh sure, no, but like they've probably lived out in the woods a long time.
Oh, I know that.
And they probably were raised like at least somewhere kind of relative. Like
I totally understand that. Like they were like born and raised out in Scandia. Who knows that they even went to school? They probably homeschooled. You know. Okay, there's plenty of people like that around here for sure. We're like the farmlands of Ohio.
You do? Oh man, you'd be the first. Yeah. No, we've probably talked about like the Ohio. Michigan War over Toledo. Have we ever talked about that?
I don't recall it.
So you know the Toledo Strip? downstate? You know how Michigan has that weird like fucking cutout of it?
No,
that's called the Toledo Strip. Yeah, and so at one point Toledo was in Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, and so like
how long ago was this?
1800s.
Oh, okay.
Like 1850s, I think. So the UP was part of Wisconsin territory, and so Michigan and Ohio territories were fighting, or you know what? I think Michigan might have been a state by then. They were fighting over the Toledo Strip because it was like the best. Because Ohio didn't have like a real like industrial point like that was advantageous for them, and so Michigan and Ohio were fighting about Toledo, and so the federal government stepped in and was like, all right, here, this is how we'll fix it. Ohio, you can get the Toledo Strip. Michigan, you get all that land above you. And so they got like, the UP
kicking the sand, like, oh
no, but that was like when they were finding out, like that was like right before they were finding out, like, oh, all the iron and shit up here, like all the copper and iron and timber, like they didn't realize like how advantageous it would be, and then it just like exploded.
Yeah, speaking of like all the copper and iron, Brian, you know Brian, right?
Yeah.
He was telling me, it's funny, you know who I'm talking about, even though we're not using last names here. But so Brian was telling me that I think he read a book or he was told about a book, but apparently there is a book written about this large copper vein that's still in the UP, and it was stumbled across, but nobody ever actually surveyed it or anything like that, and so nobody's ever actually found it again. It's like really deep in the woods somewhere, just like hidden really well, but some like author stumbled across a really nice big vein of copper in the UP somewhere. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure that's something I heard.
Okay.
Fuck, I can like really spin some rumors.
You have a knack for it.
I believe what I'm saying is real. Like I've heard it before or read about it, you know, and then like I'll tell people about it, and like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
At least then they'll walk away and I'll be like, I'm pretty sure.
I don't have actual facts or evidence.
I'm not 100% sure, but
it might be true.
I can't say I'm lying, you know, because I think I'm being honest.
You're being honest based on what you know.
Exactly.
Or think you know.
Exactly. It's dude, like I love when people like prove me wrong. Like when people have proved me wrong and they're like, ha, you're like, maybe they won't say you're so stupid, but they just make a big point of it. Like, I can't believe you would say something like that or think something like that. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry. That's what I thought. Now I know. Otherwise, like,
and you thought it too for a second too. Like, so are you dumb?
Because, like, why are you shaming me? Like, I appreciate you like teaching me something. I don't know why you're gonna shame me for.
Yeah.
No, you know, and like, okay, so. There was this like Norwegian death metal band that one of my coworkers told me about, and he gave me
what are they called?
I forget. I want to say they're just called Death or something like that.
Oh, is it Mayhem?
Yeah,
or Bergem?
Yeah, and it's like
the two big ones. Was it?
Well, like there's some wild story.
There's
some wild story about the band members themselves. Like one of them actually being talked into killing himself, and like the guy who talked him into killing himself, he even took like a bone fragment and put it on.
I know. Yeah, you're talking about the Mayhem guys.
Yeah, and then like one of the guitar guys wanted to fucking kill the guy who talked the vocalist into killing himself or something like that, and like. I was pretty goddamn certain I was.
No, he did murder him.
See, okay.
Varg murdered him. Yeah, okay. I know the story for like.
Okay, so
the outline of the story.
Here's the thing. So I heard that story. I looked into it a little bit myself, and at the time I was listening to this podcast that was talking about something very similar, and so I went on like the Facebook page for this podcast, and I made a comment about this whole like wild thing with the metal band, and somebody commented on it. I was like, you got that totally wrong, sort of thing, and like just left it at that, and I was like, And I commented back, I was like, well, if I got it totally wrong, tell me what I'm getting wrong. And he's like, never fucking cleared it up. And I was like, great, this guy just like called me out for being a fucking idiot. And
didn't do anything to...
Didn't clarify anything, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, I don't think I got any of that fucking wrong. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you had the right gist of like the shit.
That's what I thought.
You had the gist of what happened,
Okay, so like, I'm not wrong. And I was just like, man, fuck this guy. I fucking hate the
internet,
dude.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck
like,
that
bunch
guy.
of fucking assholes who think they know what the fuck they're talking about on there, just talking shit. Just like, holy crap, man. Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you what I remember from that like outline?
Yes, please, because
it's really interesting shit.
Really wild, yeah.
So, fucking, what's his name?
Varg.
Euronymous.
Okay.
Euronymous is like the name of the guy. He was like one of the founding members of this band called Mayhem. And so they wanted to make like, true Norwegian black metal.
Yeah.
So they thought all the other metal bands were like posers and pussies and shit. They're like, fuck these guys. Like, we're going to make like the most brutal shit ever.
Yeah.
And so Euronymous would like go around like strutting his shit around, because he felt like he was like the pioneer of all of it, even though it was more of like a community thing.
Okay, real quick tangent, and I don't. I don't mean to.
You're fine.
Cut you off. This Euronymous guy. Is he the guy who had the disease where he thought he was dead or he couldn't? Like, was that real?
I'm not familiar with that part.
Okay.
So he was the main guy, but he was the one who was murdered by Varg.
Okay.
Euronymous is the one who was murdered. He was the one who took the photo of his name Dead. Like, Dead was the guy who killed himself.
That was the guy who killed. Okay.
Euronymous is the one who took a photo of him.
Oh, and that guy
for
did
that
kill
album
that
cover.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, they were a band, and then they didn't have a vocalist, and they found Dead because he sent them a fucking cross with a fucking mouse nailed to it in the mail. And like a demo tape of his vocals.
Fuck.
And so they were like, we got to get this guy. He was Swedish, I think.
No shit.
And so then he moves out. They all live on this like shitty farmhouse that's like completely dilapidated, like run down. They like do all kinds of like nasty shit. There's like maggots everywhere, like on purpose.
Gross.
And then so, one day like they record some demos. They play some shows. Like there's video of Dead like cutting himself on stage with like shards of glass and stuff. It's fucking weird. And or no, it's a big ass knife. That's what he does. He pulls out a big ass knife and like cuts his arm up,
carves
like a bunch.
Up.
And so then like because Dead really like was like super depressed all the time and like he always talked about how he was depressed and he was going to kill himself.
That's the guy. Okay, so
that's the vocalist. I don't think it is Euronymous actually talked him into doing it. I think he was going to, but like he didn't really help the situation.
The guy who was murdered, that's Varg, right?
No, Euronymous was murdered.
So Euronymous. Okay, so
Dead killed himself.
Right, and so what I found when I was looking it up was two things that I might be wrong about, or the article that I read was wrong, had wrong, because I know what I read. And
Hi, Noodle.
So this Dead guy, if I remember correctly, it was saying that he had this disease, like there's this weird disease where you can't tell if you're dead or alive, or you think you are dead or something like that, and you're like, you have a hard time discerning reality. For like, it's some like weird fucking mental disease or something like that.
Maybe he had that. I have no clue. I didn't.
Okay, and so then this Euronymous guy maybe didn't tell him to kill himself, but what I read, he pushed him along and he like edged him closer to killing himself. So he didn't, and it was with like a shotgun.
Yeah, he blew his brains out with a shotgun. Well, he cut himself a bunch on the wrists and wrote a suicide note. Like it just said sorry for the mess.
Jesus.
And
it's fucking wild.
So he was not happy with like the rate that he was dying by cutting his wrists, so he just blew his brains out.
Fucking crazy.
But so the door was like locked and shit, so Euronymous actually had to climb through his window. And so like what he did was he just like the second he saw the dead friend, he was like, oh fuck it, and he grabbed a camera and took a photo. And apparently he like moved some of the shit around to put the shotgun actually like back in his hand. And then like took a photo, and I think he took a fragment of his skull. People say that's also bullshit. Yeah. But at the same time, that also caused like the drummer or the bass player to be like, dude, this is fucked. Like, fuck you. I'm done. Like, I'm so sick of your bullshit. I'm gone. And so then they like got new members. They met Varg, because Varg like
Varg was a was one of those new members then.
He eventually became a member, and so because Euronymous had heard him like. I'm sorry, I'm jumping timelines. Euronymous ended up opening up his own record store.
Okay.
And like label. And so
this is all after the death of
this is after Dead. Yeah, Dead. He like kind of stopped being in a band and he started like being like a producer for like records and shit. He built his like the Black Cult or whatever. I don't remember what it is. Like, you know, the black metal family guys, they would all hang out in the basement in like this like dungeon. And he like lived there and shit. And so then Varg like showed him like Bergem, which was his like solo band he made all himself. And he was like, dude, this is like the craziest shit. I want to put out your record, blah, blah, blah. So they recorded stuff. He became part of Mayhem. And there was like a bunch of arguments for years, like, you know, pissing contests about who's more fucking black metal. Varg starts burning down churches because Euronymous is always talking about doing it because he hates Christianity and he never does anything. But then like him and Varg go burn a church, and then Varg starts like, you know, big dick contest, like, oh, I'm gonna burn down more churches than you and shit. And so then there's like a string of church burnings in Norway in the 90s, and so then, you know, just, you know, pissing contests between the two of them, and then like arguments over like royalties and rights to like whatever my label. Oh, it's my songs, like fuck you, that kind of shit. And then it gets to the point where like Euronymous talks a lot of shit and says something about like killing Varg. So then Varg goes and kills him because he's like, fuck him.
He took it as a threat then.
So yeah, and it was like kind of at the point where it's like Euronymous was like willing to like, it seemed like he was like kind of willing to like just like let go of the bullshit. But like then at the same time, like Varg like kills him at his own house, like in his own apartment building.
That's such a wild story. Did you watch a documentary on this then, or what?
Yeah, I've watched a few documentaries, and I watched that movie Lords of Chaos, but like I think that was like pretty heavily dramatized. I'm not 100%.
Is that a movie solely based on?
It's based on the stories around like the black metal shit with Mayhem, but like at the same time, only the people who are there actually know, and everyone tells it differently because you know. So it's like those are kind of just like the facts, like about shit, like the timeline, like that's kind of like just like I guess the facts of everything, but as far as like the finer details, it's all kind of up in the air. Because Varg claims self-defense against Euronymous.
So it sounds like
but he went to jail and now he's out. So
it sounds like because they have like their prison system and sentencing system is so much different than over here.
They don't do life in prison. They'll do like 25 years.
25 is the max you'll ever serve. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Not necessarily wild because their crime rate is so much lower than ours. Like, I mean, there's a lot to all that shit. We don't have to get into.
We have a lot more people,
right? And like, I've watched a lot of different YouTube videos and like documentaries on prisons and stuff like that, and the type of systems they have out there. And like, I think it's in maybe fucking Belgium or some shit like that, or in the Netherlands, and it's some like island that's just meant for the prisoners, and they're not in cells. They have free roam of the island, and they take care of themselves essentially. Like, and like they're much happier out there. There's no violence between them because they're just, I don't know. It's just it's a whole nother thing, but like it's wild.
If you can find that, I'd love to read about that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, you've never heard about those types of prisons? Okay, yeah, I would love to send you a link for them. But it's really interesting. Like there's wild murders, like mass murders that are just living freely. Let's say on this island, freely in the sense that they had the whole island to themselves. I think there might be guards still running it and everything like that, and there's still I always forget the name for the lead guy in charge of the prison.
A warden.
The warden, yeah. Thank you. Like there's still all those positions and roles being filled in the prison system, but there's just a big twist, and that's that the prisoners are walking freely and everything. It's really interesting, dude. Yeah.
I'd love to read about that. That's cool.
I've watched documentaries on Russian
prisons. Oh my god, dude!
Some of those fucking cannibals and shit. There's just
I remember. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
because there was one where he was like, "Oh yeah,
I think it's the Black Dolphin or something like that.
I killed a man and made him into a stew, and then I gave it to my friend, and him and his wife had it for dinner." It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you didn't even tell him. Yeah. Russians are like the craziest, toughest motherfuckers on the planet, dude.
They're wild.
Dude. Yeah. So
It's getting to that time.
I was gonna say maybe about that time. So,
hey, you want to do those questions?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Those.
Yeah, for sure.
For a while. So, hey, what did you like about today?
I like that I got my car back up and running, and we got to do a podcast. Thank you for your help, by the way. I appreciate you helping me with my car.
I enjoyed helping, dude.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
What didn't you like today?
The physical strain of fixing my car. Trying to crank on bolts that are buried under hoses and other mechanisms and braces and brackets. Yeah.
Does your back hurt?
My back hurts. My arm hurts. It's fine though, because I learned some shit though.
Yeah.
I learned some stuff about fixing
rewarding.
my car. Yeah, dude. So now I'll always know how to change a fucking starter on a car
and
to take the airbox off.
Now you can just relax tonight knowing your vehicle is running again.
Definitely.
All right. So what do you hope for tomorrow? Or what do you want to happen tomorrow or hope to happen?
Fruitful, productive day of work, because I'm working all day.
For sure.
Yeah. And hopefully there's no bullshit along with it.
That's what
I'm sure there'll be a little bit because it's work, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's tolerable.
A little bit's expected.
Yeah, it's tolerable. So, Vinny, what did you enjoy about today?
Oh, man. What did I enjoy about today? I you know what? I kind of cleaned up a little bit. You know what I enjoyed about today? Getting together and doing this goddamn podcast.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a while. I was glad we could just, like, blow the dust off the covers and shit. But, like, it was good to get together. And, like, I've been missing doing comedy and whatnot.
Yeah, it's been kind of a bummer not doing comedy, but the stuff, especially that open mic stuff, which we don't have to get into on the podcast.
This time, at least. But, like, yeah, I don't know. This is one outlet for that stuff that we can make jokes and I don't know, it gets out there in some way, I guess. But yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed doing this today though.
Yeah, for sure, man. Me too. Okay, so what didn't you like about this day?
You know, I hate these kind of days off after, let's say, like I had a long week, and these days off, I get them, my days off rotate, so I'll have one day off here and then one day off there. And sometimes one of those days off during the week just feels like a day I need to just not do shit. And today is one of those. I just didn't do laundry. I cleaned up a little bit, like moved dishes around to the sink, but I just didn't do anything productive and feel kind of shitty for that, I guess.
That's fair.
But yeah.
I get it. What do you hope for tomorrow then?
Nice productive day. My grandma's birthday is coming up, or I guess her birthday is coming up also, but I want to send her something for Christmas. Her and my cousin and my mom's over in Germany right now too. But
oh, cool.
I want to send my grandma. I got her some socks, and then I was just thinking recently I kind of want to try hand drawing her a picture of her and my mom. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow after work because I got Tuesday off, I think, so I can just kind of stay up late, maybe trying to sketch out something for my grandma, because she's always hand drawn stuff for us, and so
that's cool.
She's getting old, man, and I think she might really like getting something hand drawn for her, for a change. So
that's awesome, man.
For sure.
That shit's a lot more personal.
For sure, dude. I love my grandma too. I'll show you some pictures after this.
All right.
All right, dude.
Cool, man. So you want to close it out?
Yeah, it was good getting together. I can't wait to do the next one, and people are just going to have to be patient with us. Right? This is Two Birds, One Stone. I'm Vincent Schultz.
I'm Zachary Brooks.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, you guys have a good night.
See ya.